What if your clothes are quietly telling the world you've given up, without you ever saying a word? After 60, what we wear no longer whispers fashion. It speaks volumes about dignity, presence, and how much we still respect ourselves. You may think, I just want to be comfortable. But here's the truth. The wrong outfit can make you look older, tired, or even invisible, no matter how wise or full of life you are inside. In this video, we'll uncover 9 clothing choices that can silently hurt your image after 60. Items that may seem harmless but actually take away from your elegance, strength, and confidence. And we're not here to chase trends. This is about timeless self-respect and aging with quiet class. Stay with me, because the last item on this list is the one most seniors overlook, and yet it might be the most damaging of all. Thing 1. Cheap-looking fabrics. Not all fabrics are created equal. And once you reach a certain age, the wrong material can send the wrong message before you've even said a word. Cheap cooking fabrics. Those that shine too much, wrinkle too easily, or cling in all the wrong places, can take an otherwise decent outfit and make it look careless. These materials may be inexpensive or easy to find, but they often look disposable, and when you wear something that looks disposable, people assume you've stopped investing in yourself. Let's take Evelyn and Ruth, both 75, both heading to a casual lunch at their local community center. Evelyn wears a soft cotton blouse with subtle structure and flow, something that holds its shape but moves naturally with her. Ruth wears a synthetic top that shines under the light and shows every fold and crease from where it sat on a hanger. Even if Ruth's top is newer or cost more, it doesn't matter. The fabric does the talking, and what it says isn't flattering. Like polyester blends or stiff synthetics often promise easy care, but they usually wrinkle quickly, cling to places they shouldn't, and make movement look awkward. Worse, some of these fabrics reflect light in a way that exaggerates every bump and fold, drawing attention where you don't want it. At our age, we deserve comfort. But comfort should never come at the cost of elegance, and no, elegance isn't about being fancy, it's about looking like you still respect the body that carries you. Clothes made of oversized fibers like cotton, linen blends, or soft knits tend to fall more gracefully, feel better on the skin, and hold up better over time. You don't have to throw away everything synthetic, but be selective. Hold it up to the light, check the seams, feel the fabric with your fingers. Ask yourself if it brings dignity to your day. Because the truth is, people may not notice when you wear a good fabric, but they always notice when you don't. It's not about chasing fashion. It's about refusing to look like you've stopped trying. When your clothes look cheap, people may assume your standards are too, and you know that's not who you are. Thing 2. Excessive logos or branding. Wearing clothing plastered with oversized logos, slogans, or brand names might seem harmless, but in reality, it can send a message that feels out of touch or even desperate. When we were younger, wearing a popular logo was about status or fitting in. But at this stage of life, your dignity speaks louder than any designer label ever could. Sure. Picture Leonard and Gary, both in their late 70s. Leonard wears a clean, neutral pullover that complements his frame and lets his presence stand out. Gary, on the other hand, walks in with a bright hoodie covered in loud branding from top to bottom. It's not that Gary doesn't have taste. It's that his clothes are doing all the talking, and they're shouting the wrong thing. Instead of looking sharp or current, the effect is often the opposite. It can make a man appear as though he's clinging to youth, trying to stay power by leaning on a brand rather than letting his character speak for itself. Logos aren't inherently bad, but when they dominate the outfit, they take the spotlight off you and put it on a corporation. And let's be honest, no one over 70 needs to advertise for a sneaker company or a soda brand on their chest. It's not just about style, it's about self-consciousness. Clothes filled with branding often come across as juvenile, and for older adults, it creates a strange contrast. Instead of aging with quiet authority and presence, it comes off like a man trying to borrow confidence from his clothing, rather than drawing it from within. There's power in understatement, a solid color, a soft pattern, a classic fit. These things say something far more meaningful than any logo ever could. They say you're at ease with who you are, not trying to be anyone else. They say you've lived long enough to understand that value doesn't come from what's printed on your shirt. It comes from what you carry in your voice, your manner, and your memory. So next time you reach for something with a big brand name on it, pause, ask yourself who it's really serving. your sense of style, or someone else's profit margin. Because the most attractive thing you can wear is self-respect. Thing 3, ill-fitting clothes. There's nothing that can drag down your appearance faster than clothes that don't fit your body. Whether they're too loose or too tight, ill-fitting garments do more than make you look sloppy. They send a message that you've stopped caring, and that message can be louder than you think. Picture two men, both 76 years old. One wears a shirt that drapes like a curtain and pants that bunch around his ankles. The other wears a button-up that fits his shoulders and slacks that sit just right on his waist. They might have similar incomes, health, or even the same shoes, but the way they present themselves tells two very different stories. Baggy clothes can make you look like you're hiding, or worse, like you've given up. Clothes that are too tight can make you appear like you're trying too hard to hold on to a past that's already moved on. There's dignity in dressing for the body you have today, not the one you used to have or the one you wish you still had. Tailoring doesn't have to mean expensive suits or designer brands. It means knowing your shape and choosing clothes that gently follow your frame, not fight against it. And if you've recently lost weight or gained a few pounds, it's worth revisiting your wardrobe. It's like holding on to clothes that no longer fit is like holding on to versions of yourself that no longer serve you. Dressing well in old age isn't about standing out. It's about honoring who you are right now. When your clothes fit you well, you walk differently, you sit with more ease, you speak with more assurance, and whether people realize it or not, they treat you with more respect. Because like it or not, the world reads your clothes before it hears your words. Thing 4, overly casual athletic wear. In the tender embrace of your later years, every choice you make weaves a story of who you are, a tapestry of wisdom, grace, and quiet strength. Yet overly casual athletic wear, those faded sweatpants, oversized gym tees, or worn-out leggings meant for workouts, can unravel that narrative, whispering carelessness when your heart sings pride. This 9th thing to avoid, dressing as if every day is a gym session, can dim the dignity you've earned. For Clara, 77, her beloved tracksuit felt like freedom, but at a friend's gathering, she saw eyes flicker with pity, mistaking her comfort for surrender. Swapping it for tailored trousers and a soft sweater, she felt her spirit lift, her presence commanding respect. Athletic wear, when worn beyond its purpose, suggests you've stopped curating your image, letting convenience eclipse intention. It's not about denying comfort, but choosing pieces that honor your body's journey. Structured knits, polished casuals that move with you yet speak of care. Ask, does my attire echo my inner strength? Comment number 4 below, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights. Thing 5, worn-out shoes. You can tell a lot about someone by their shoes. It might sound old comfort, but scuffed soles, peeling edges, or cracked leather have a way of speaking louder than the words that come out of your mouth. And when you're older, every detail counts. Shoes aren't just functional, they reflect how much you care about yourself. Think about Harold and Dennis, both 81, retired and enjoying their golden years. Harold wears shoes that are clean, well-maintained, and has been chosen with care. Dennis, on the other hand, wears sneakers with frayed laces and soles worn thin from years of use. He might think nobody notices, but they do. People pick up on those signals even if they don't say anything. Worn-out shoes give the impression that you've stopped paying attention, that you've stopped showing up for yourself. And that impression doesn't just affect how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. Because when your shoes are falling apart, something in your confidence starts to fray too. You don't need to spend a fortune, you just need to be selective. Stick to classic, comfortable, timeless designs. Make sure they're clean, polished if they're leather, and replaced when they've reached the end of their road. And if bending over to tie your laces or struggling with stiff shoes has become a daily challenge, it might be time to explore options that offer both ease and style. There are slip-goer designs now that look elegant and feel supportive, so you don't have to sacrifice comfort to look put together. And let's not forget, safety. Old shoes often mean slippery soles or poor arch support. And that can lead to falls, which in our age is no small matter. The small act of wearing solid, presentable shoes does more than protect your feet. It grounds you. It tells people you're still standing tall, still showing up, still paying attention to the world and your place in it. Thing 6, outdated actors. There's a quiet way time sneaks into your appearance, and it often shows up in the details. particularly the accessories we carry or wear without a second thought. That old belt with the cracking leather, the glasses frame that hasn't seen a new shape since the 1000, the handbag that's been patched one too many times. These aren't just harmless signs of nostalgia. They can quickly signal that you're holding on to the past in ways that are aging you more than helping you. Let's look at two women, Norma and Alice, both 74. Norma carries a soft leather handbag in a classic color, something well cared for but timeless. Alice, meanwhile, brings her belongings in a worn tote with faded cartoon prints from decades ago. She might feel attached to it, or maybe she hasn't thought twice about replacing it. But to everyone around her, that bag doesn't look vintage. It just looks tired. Accessories speak, and in your later years they speak louder. When something like a belt, watch, pair of glasses, or even a hat doesn't match the energy or care you put into the rest of your appearance, it breaks the whole picture. People may not know why something feels off, but they feel it, and it subtly shifts how they respond to you. Of course, it can do the same to how you see yourself. You don't need to throw out everything old, but you do need to ask whether what you're wearing still reflects the person you are now. We all evolve, and your accessories should too. Holding on to an object from 20 years ago isn't loyalty. It's inertia, and inertia doesn't help you move forward. Small. Replace one thing. Update your current glasses with a frame that suits your current face shape. Try a belt in a fresh neutral color. Choose a bag that isn't flashy but feels solid and intentional. You'll be surprised at how much younger, more composed, and more confident you feel when the little things around you are as current as the wisdom inside you. After all, growing older isn't about staying stuck. It's about staying sharp. And sometimes the sharpest change you can make is the one dangling from your wrist or hanging from your shoulder. Thing 7. Juvenile graphics or prints. There's something jarring about seeing a grown man or woman in their 70s wearing a shirt with a cartoon character, a silly slogan, or a trendy graphic meant for someone 5 decades younger. It's not that laughter or playfulness has an age limit. It doesn't. But the message your clothing sends should match the depth of the life you've lived. When you wear a shirt that looks like it was picked up in the teenage section, it doesn't say you're youthful. It says you've lost track of what suits you now. Take Linda and Barbara, both 78. Linda shows up to a weekend gathering wearing a simple, soft-toned blouse with a delicate pattern that complements her features. Barbara's in a t-shirt with a talking taco, while none promises word. The room doesn't laugh. They blink, because it's not charming, it's confusing. And whether she realizes it or not, that confusion casts a shadow over the grace she otherwise carries. When you reach a certain stage in life, you've earned the right to be taken seriously without being somber. But juvenile prints and lie grow juvenile. The opposite, they can turn a thoughtful conversation into a quiet judgment. It's not about being uptight. It's about being aware. The truth is, a shirt with a cartoon or a trendy phrase might feel fun when you put it on, but out in the world, it often comes across as trying too hard, or worse, trying to hide. Because humor, when forced onto a garment, rarely lands with the dignity you think it might. Instead, aim for subtlety. Choose patterns that reflect your calm confidence. Soft florals, classic stripes, earthy textures. These don't scream, they speak gently. They say you know who you are, and they don't need to be funny to be warm. Or hey, 20 scene. If you've ever wondered why people aren't you as a part of me. 20 go away. How muggy will it get? You've lived through eras, movements, and moments that younger generations can't even imagine. Don't let a silly slogan drown out all that history, because dignity doesn't need to prepare you. It just needs to show up quietly and consistently. Things 8. Mismatched or loud colors. Or has power. It can lift your mood, brighten your face, and even bring warmth to the people around you. But when colors are mismatched, too powered, or clash aggressively, they don't just distract, they overwhelm. In your younger years, maybe you experimented with neon greens, hot pinks, or bold prints that look like they came from a carnival tent. That's fine, but after a certain point in life, harmony matters more than shock value. Imagine two friends, Earl and Samuel, both 80, meeting for coffee. Earl wears a navy cardigan with a light blue shirt and soft beige pants. Nothing fancy, but every piece complements the next. Earl is in a bright orange sweater, lime green pants, and a red cap. The energy in the room shifts, and not in a good way. Instead of looking lively, Samuel looks like a walking contradiction. Wearing well or clashing colors past a certain age can send mixed messages. It can make it seem like you're chasing attention rather than commanding respect. And that's not what you want. Because the truth is, your presence should speak louder than your palate. You've lived a long time. You've weathered loss, celebrated milestones, and carried wisdom most people haven't earned yet. Your wardrobe should echo that depth, not distract from it. Choosing colors that work together, soft grays, deep blues, warm earth tones, doesn't mean you're boring. It means you understand balance. And balance is what people trust. Mist colors, on the other hand, suggest chaos or carelessness, even when that's the farthest thing from the truth. Start by looking at your closet and noticing which pieces you always feel good in. There's a reason for that. Maybe it's the way the color brings out your eyes or softens your skin tone. Maybe it's the peace that comes from not having to apologize for what you're wearing. Build around that. Simplify. Simplicity never embarrasses you. Clashing colors, on the other hand, can say something you never meant to say. That you're out of step with yourself, and at this point in life, you've earned the right to walk in sync with everything you are. Thing 9. See-through fabrics or visible undergarments. There's a difference between dressing comfortably and dressing carelessly. One of the clearest lines between the two is drawn when what's meant to stay hidden becomes visible. Thin fabrics that show more than intended, blouses that become transparent under light, pants that reveal undergarments when you sit down. These aren't just fashion missteps. They send the wrong message at an age where grace should be the headline. Picture two women, Darlene and Rose, both in their early 80s, attending a Sunday brunch. Darlene wears a soft cream blouse layered over a light tank, ensuring coverage without sacrificing comfort. Rose, meanwhile, chose a pastel shirt that looks modest indoors, but under sunlight it turns sequin, revealing the outline of her bra. She didn't mean for accessing. Exposure can be one of the fastest ways to lose control over how others perceive you. And in older age, when so much of your presence is built on wisdom and quiet dignity, that loss can feel especially uncomfortable. Clothes that show too much aren't just inappropriate. They create tension. They make others avert their gaze. They invite judgment that you didn't ask for and don't deserve. You might think it's not a big deal, or that no one is really paying attention, but they are, and what they take away from those small details affects how they treat you, talk to you, and listen to you. This doesn't mean you need to dress like a nun. It means being aware of how your clothing behaves in different light, movement, or settings. Test fabrics under daylight before wearing them out. Sit, stand, bend. See what shows. Choose undergarments that match your skin tone rather than your outfit. And use layering pieces when you dye. None of this is about being old fools. It's about being prepared. You've lived long enough to know that the smallest oversight can cast the biggest shadow. At this point in your life, you shouldn't have to second-guess your clothing or feel nervous when you leave the house. You deserve to move through your day knowing that every part of you is covered with the same respect you've spent decades building. The way you dress after 60 isn't about impressing anyone. It's about expressing who you are and who you refuse to stop being. Every choice in your closet is a reflection of the pride you carry, the wisdom you've earned, and the respect you still deserve. Whether you're walking into a cafe, a family gathering, or simply looking in the mirror. So tell me, was there one thing in this video that surprised you or made you think twice about something in your wardrobe? Drop a comment below. I read every one. You might help someone else find their confidence too. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still deserves to feel seen and respected. You're not fading with age, you're refining, and the world should see that.